During a recent BAFTA Film Awards ceremony in London, an uncomfortable and highly controversial moment unfolded when John Davidson, a campaigner and activist living with Tourette syndrome, involuntarily shouted the N-word multiple times. Davidson was present as the subject and inspiration for the nominated documentary I Swear, which chronicles his experiences with the condition at a time when public understanding was limited. The film aims to raise awareness about Tourette's, portraying the involuntary tics, including verbal outbursts, that individuals cannot control. The outbursts occurred audibly during the live event, with microphones capturing the offensive language. Notably, the N-word was directed toward actors Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo while they were on stage presenting an award. The actors, both Black, maintained professionalism and continued their presentation without visible reaction, but the incident quickly drew widespread attention and criticism. Hannah Beachler, the Oscar-winning production designer for Black Panther and a crew member on the film Sinners, which featured Jordan and Lindo, shared her personal experience of the evening. She revealed that Davidson had shouted the slur at her as well, not once, but in multiple instances throughout the night, including one directed specifically at her while heading to dinner after the ceremony. Beachler described another instance involving a different Black woman. She struggled to articulate her feelings, calling the situation almost impossible to process, yet emphasized the need to handle it with grace while continuing to advocate and create. Beachler expressed particular disappointment with how the incident was addressed during the broadcast. Host Alan Cumming acknowledged the strong offensive language toward the end of the show, explaining that it stemmed from Tourette syndrome as depicted in I Swear. He described the tics as involuntary and beyond the person's control, then apologized if you were offended. Beachler criticized this phrasing as a throwaway apology, arguing that it minimized the harm. She stressed that those affected were undeniably offended, but their response was rooted in resilience and higher spiritual focus. The incident did not diminish their identities as artists or people. The language, she noted, did not simply bounce off, but required acknowledgement of its impact. The ceremony's handling extended to broader production choices. The BBC later expressed regret for not editing out the offensive language in the aired version, acknowledging the failure to remove it during post-production. This led to further apologies and adjustments, including temporarily removing the program from streaming for re-editing. Reactions from the entertainment community were swift and varied. Prominent figures voiced dismay over the handling, emphasizing that the priority should be unequivocal apologies to those targeted by the slur, regardless of its involuntary nature. Discussions highlighted the tension between raising awareness for disabilities like Tourette's, which can involve uncontrollable utterances, and the real pain caused when those utterances include deeply harmful racial language. The film's intent to foster understanding clashed with the immediate hurt felt by attendees and viewers. Davidson reportedly left the event during the second half, possibly of his own accord, as his outbursts ceased to be heard. Sources close to the organization clarified that he was an invited guest and not asked to depart. This detail fueled debates about balancing inclusion and sensitivity in live events featuring individuals with conditions that may produce disruptive or offensive tics. The incident sparked broader conversations about disability, racism, event management, and media responsibility. Advocates for Tourette stress that the condition involves no intent or malice. Tics are neurological, not chosen. Yet critics argued that context matters, especially in diverse, high-profile settings where racial slurs carry historical weight. The apology's conditional framing, if offended, was seen by some as deflecting rather than owning the distress caused. Beachler's response exemplified a measured yet firm stance, recognizing the complexity while refusing to downplay the offense. Her words underscored that grace does not mean erasure of harm, and pushing forward artistically requires honest reckoning. The event served as an unintended real-world illustration of the challenges the nominated film sought to address, living with Tourette's amid societal judgment, while simultaneously exposing gaps in how such moments are navigated publicly. Ultimately, the controversy illustrated the delicate interplay between empathy for disabilities and accountability for their effects on others, leaving lasting questions about inclusivity, apology, and awareness in the entertainment world.